Right, well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Catherine Kiley, and I work in the Research and Innovation Office. And I get the great pleasure here this evening of announcing the winners of the various competitions that we've had here this afternoon. And it's been a really tremendous day. And I suppose for somebody who has worked in the Research and Innovation Office in WIT for more years than I care to remember, more than a decade, I really, from a personal perspective, I take great pride in today. I mean, today I think we really get an insight into the diversity of our community. When we think of and look at the diversity of our graduate student population here at the institution, the advances that have been made over the last 10 to 15 years have been truly tremendous. And that is down to the work of, I suppose, our leading supervisors, the pioneers who have really driven research here in the institution, and the enthusiasm and the creativity of you, our students. It's great to see how connected the institution is. And when we look at today, from all of the oral posters, from the projects that are presented in the presentations and the different forms in which we've had this year, there's more than 42 external collaborators associated with the work that's gone on today. So, and that is collaborations, with national and international universities, collaboration with public bodies, with government agencies, with industry. And so that really, I suppose, demonstrates how potentially impactful WIT's research is and can be. So that gives a great sense of, I suppose, inspiration in how we are impacting on our community and the potential into the future. Before I go on to announce the winners, and I know that that's what everybody is here to hear, I have to thank a number of people for today, because today just doesn't happen. Today is the culmination, indeed, of many years of work by the students and the supervisors, but also by a big support team behind today. So first of all, I'd like to thank our judging panels, and the judging panels have had a very difficult challenge, if you like, because number one, there's a very significant amount of diversity in the subjects that were presented. We have a judging panel for the oral presentations, Professor Willie Donnelly, Professor Anne Jordan, and Dr. Richie Ryan, who is a graduate of the Institute and a development scientist based in Boston. So thank you very much indeed for your time today. We've also had, as you know, two separate panels judging our poster presentations. And again, I'm not going to go through everybody, but thank you indeed for your time and your effort. And I heard a lot of the debate and the conversation, and I know there was a lot of thought went into the judging. Also, likewise, with the panel for the 3-minute thesis. Now, that was a really tough challenge. It was a very short time frame in which to make the decisions, so thank you indeed for that. Our heads of school and heads of department were very instrumental in today's event also, so I'd like to thank everybody. I appreciate it's an extremely busy time of year for you all, but I think your commitment to research and the management drive and strategic vision has to be commended today, so thank you indeed. Our support staff, the support staff here in the institution is, I suppose, reflective of the professionalism in which WIT is known for. And we have a number of people in terms of the estates office, in terms of campus services, in terms of educational services, and indeed the marketing team. So thank you very much. And I know I've probably left people out in that, but today it's through a combined effort and coordinated support that we're able to deliver a day like this to everybody. So thank you indeed. I have to mention the team and the RSU behind today's event. I think many of you indeed have acknowledged to me personally their drive and their enthusiasm and their support for the student community here in WIT. And I'm going to ask you just to give the RSU team an applause, and that is As you know, that's Susie, Marita, Martha, Rita, Claire, Philomena, and Angela as well this year. So thank you indeed very, very much. Today wouldn't happen without you. I have to thank the 78 supervisors who are associated with today. It's really, when you think of it, it's almost a third of our academic staff here. So that really is tremendous, and reflects the growth of research here in the institution and the diversity across all schools. So thank you indeed for all your time and support for the students in preparing for today. Finally, I have to thank you, our students, for some of you hardly in the door 2-3 months, and took the brave decision to come up here and participate in today. Your ability to communicate to, I suppose, a very mixed audience has been truly, truly commendable, and I just want to thank you indeed, and indeed wish you the best. So now we're going to move on to the announcements of the different categories in which we have, and I'm going to ask Willie. We're going to take a photograph, and I'm going to invite the supervisor of the different winning categories. We have a number of different categories, and first of all, I'm going to go through the winning poster presentations. And we have a second prize and a first prize in the category of arts, humanities and social sciences, and likewise for science, engineering, technology and maths. So I'm going to start by calling on the winner, the second prize for best poster in arts, business, social science and humanities is Monica Keevy Murphy. And Monica's poster is number 5 in your booklets, and her supervisors are Dennis Harrington and Felicity Kelleher. I don't know if any of them are here. I know Felicity is certainly away. Tom, would you like to come down and just maybe join for the... And Monica's poster is entitled An Initial Strategic Learning Plan Framework for Growth-Focused Small Service Firms, a Pilot Study. So, congratulations.
You're going to sing.
So now I wish to announce the winning prize, the first prize in the Arts, Business, Social Sciences and Humanities poster competition, and that goes to Patricia Hunt. And Patricia is from the Department of Nursing and Healthcare. And her supervisors are Dr. Martina Gooney and Dr. Suzanne Denif, and it's poster number 14 outside. And Patricia is examining compassion fatigue in oncology healthcare professionals. Okay, now progressing on to the second prize for the best poster in science, technology, engineering and maths. And this goes to a student in the Department of Science called Cordula Wise. And Cordula's supervisors are Dr. Peter McLaughlin and Dr. Helen Fox. So if you wish to join for the photograph, please do. And Cordula's poster is entitled Characterization of Dry Powder Formulation Using AFM. Okay, now the best overall poster presentation prize go in the science, technology, and engineering and maths goes to Cordula Botha, again from the Department of Science. Or Caroline, excuse me. And again, her supervisors Peter, Helen, Gillian Gardner, and Xiaoping. And Caroline's poster is number 25, and it's entitled Novel Compound from Seaweed Extract with Bioactivity Against MRSA. Well done, Caroline. Okay, the next category was the Delegates Choice. Now, this really was down to you, the audience. So the winning prize for this particular category goes to Colin Dillon from the Department of Science, and Colin's supervisors. Dr. Helen Hughes, Dr. Niall O'Reilly, and again Dr. Peter McLaughlin. Poster number 28, the development of novel drug delivery technologies for the transdermal delivery of therapeutic peptides.
Next year, Peter is only allowed 2.
Okay, this year we introduced a new category, and that was the 3-minute thesis. Again, we have two, second and a first prize in this competition. And I'd like to award the second prize for the 3-minute thesis to Kira Powell from the Department of Science. And supervisors, Peter Turner, Ruth Carden, Sandra Irving, Fidelma Butler, John O'Halloran, Simon Harrison, Vincent Murphy, and Catherine O'Reilly. Congratulations. And the winning prize in this category, it goes to Bernard Butler in the Department of Computing and Maths. And Dr. Brendan Jennings is Bernard's supervisor. Now we're on to the final 2 awards, and that's for the best oral presentation. But before I announce that, I'd like to call on Professor Anne Jordan just to say a few words on behalf of the judging panel. I know they had a very difficult job, but
Thank you, Catherine. I think really Catherine has preempted almost everything that I want to say, so I'll make it very, very brief. It was a really difficult choice to make, but we were guided in our first choice by the audience here. We did sort of know, because our own discussions correlated with your general view here. So Catherine will announce that in a moment or so. All of the presentations were incredibly fluent and very mature, and we particularly like to commend the international students whose first language isn't English, because we didn't find that anyone was handicapped in that sort of second language. So it was great to see the way that the whole sort of research community is coming together, and sort of barriers of language or culture, have seemed to have sort of disappeared or smoothed down from that. The knowledgeability of all the presenters was shown in the way that all questions were answered. We didn't see or hear anyone fumbling with answers. We thought you really did display a very deep sort of knowledgeability of your subject. One of the reasons for our choice of winners was, as Willie talked about this morning, that concept of applicability to practice and to community. And that came out very strongly in a number of the projects. And finally, folks, the hands of the supervisors are over all of these. We can see the contribution that the supervisors have made and their deep contribution to all these projects. So again, I'd like to congratulate those supervisors and to say that we do recognise your contribution. So thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for being such a generous audience and for guiding us in our considerations. So thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Anne. So, in announcing the second prize for the best oral presentation, and that goes to John Power. John is from the Department of Science, and his supervisors, Dr. Catherine O'Reilly and Dr. Peter Turner. And he's looking at non-invasive genetic monitoring of pine martens and stone martens in and around a hibernation site in Poland. So well done, John. Now, and to the final and first overall prize for this year's competition for the oral presentation. And this goes to Peter Jones from the Department of Health, Sports and Exercise Science. So is Peter here? Is Peter here? No.
I will collect it on his behalf, Catherine, if you wish.
Yes, indeed, please do. Peter's...
Peter works and is a part-time student, and I suspect he's gone back to work this afternoon.
And Peter's supervisor is Elaine Mullen, and his subject, as you can well remember, is the impact of skills training on cycling confidence and behaviour. So thank you very much, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask Brendan Jennings, Head of Graduate Studies here at the Institute, to close with some concluding remarks on the day. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Catherine. So I guess as usual, I really enjoyed the day. It's great to sort of expand your horizons and hear about work in other areas. And what I always find every year is I pick up a new word to add to my vocabulary. So today's word for me is rhizomic, and thanks to Casey for that. I'll be trying to drop that in casual conversation. So I'm a lot of fun to go to the pub with. The other thing that really struck me was the impact of the work, and Willie spoke at the start of the day about the emphasis on impact in the sort of funding community nationally and internationally. And I guess the two obvious ones really shone through the sort of economic, potential economic impact of some of the work that's been done and the societal impact of the work that's been done. But what's particularly gratifying for me is to see the other impacts, particularly in terms of sort of more blue skies, fundamental science, and people who are sort of a bit out there and still quite far away from potential economic impact. And on the other side, the impact on our understanding of our identity and culture, especially regionally. So I think taken together, we really have a community that's spanning the whole sort of possible breadth of scientific and scholarly work, and I think it's something we should all be proud of. The other thing that I think we have a big advantage relative to some of the larger institutes and universities in the country in that we can all, as a research community, more or less fit in the same room. I think if you were in a university, a scientist would very rarely hear a presentation by someone from humanities. And there is a big move towards interdisciplinarity. Richard spoke about how nationally, especially with vis-a-vis humanities, it's not such, there is, our agencies haven't really seen the potential there. But I think on the other hand, that potential is very clearly evident if you go to the Horizon 2020 calls. And and interdisciplinarity across sciences, across humanities, business is all over the calls there. And I think it's something we should really try to harness in WIT. You know, I'm aware of some proposals to Horizon 2020 being submitted in the last month or so, looking at ICT and forestry and ICT and humanities in terms of digital repositories. So it's something that I think we should try to do more, and there's a huge opportunity for us as a community to do that. And as I say, we have the size and the relationships that would allow us to do it. I want to add my thanks to Catherine's and to Anne's, to the students for the amazing job they did today. I remember the first presentation I did to a conference was in 1998 in Durham University, and I couldn't sleep at all the night before. My presentation was at the end of the day, and it was really a daunting experience. And one of the things I found today is you couldn't tell who. I know some of the people, it was their first time standing up in an audience like this, but you couldn't really tell because the standard was so high from everyone. And you have the added tyranny of these traffic lights, which is cruel and unusual punishment, but well done. And I would say to sort of newer students or students who are sort of midway through their program to grasp at every opportunity you can get to present your work, because that whole process of condensing your work, especially to a more general audience, really helps you sort of declutter all the things that are floating around in your head and allow you to focus, and it's a huge benefit. So do this as much as you can. To the completing students, the people who are going to write their dissertations in the next couple of months and leave us, just to say you'll be missed. Often people are sort of very overawed by this process of having to write up all their work for a couple of years into a large document. I say just dive in and do it. You'll find it's much easier than you think it's going to be. So good luck with your vivas and your assessments. And especially good luck in your future careers, whether you stay in WIT or in the region or go further afield. Hopefully what you've done here will be of huge and lasting benefit to you. Just regarding the students, we are setting up a Research Students Forum as a sort of a formal means to feedback impact from the student community towards the Graduate Studies Office and the Research Support Unit. I'm going to call a meeting to kick that off next week, probably Thursday of next week. So all the students, if you're available, please come along and help form that group. I also want to thank the supervisors. It really is a huge responsibility, but also a privilege and a very enjoyable experience to supervise somebody. And it's not always apparent from the outside the amount of work that's involved, all the way from chasing funding, writing reports, and staying up late at night to find money so you can hire students. Then when they come in, handling all the administration, all the monitoring, and that's all besides giving actual input and guidance into the research work. So I think we should all be proud of the range and the strength of the supervisory capacity we have in the Institute. Before I finish, I want to take the opportunity to thank Willie for all the amazing work he's done in the last 12 years as the VP of Research. He enticed me to come down to Waterford in the first place. But it's amazing the evolution since I've been here, since 2003, in the research activity. And every year at this event, you can really see the evolution. So we're really going to miss him in that role, but I suppose it's fantastic to have a champion of the research community in this position of awesome power and influence. And I suppose as researchers, we're all very confident that he's going to deliver new research buildings, lots of equipment, some resources for student support. And so I suppose on that note of hope, I'd like to draw everything to a conclusion. So thank you very much to everyone.